So what will the future of Cuba's politics look like? For more, we're joined now by Michael Shifter, the president of the Inter-American Dialogue, an influential think tank right here in Washington, D.C. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Everyone wants to know now, how will Cuba look differently now with Raul Castro stepping down as president?
Well, it's unclear. The internal politics of Cuba are pretty opaque. It's hard to know exactly what's going on in the inner circle at the highest levels of Cuban government. But it seems clear that Raul Castro will step aside. There will be a new president, most likely Díaz-Canel, the current vice president. But Raul Castro will still retain a lot of power as head of the Communist Party. How much he gives up, actually, we'll have to see. Cuba's going through a very hard time. And I think they're preparing for a continuity. I don't think we should expect any dramatic changes, but there may be changes on the margins.
So as leader of the Communist Party, what kind of authority does that give him over the new president?
Well, the Communist Party is the only party, and so this is the chief mechanism for for making policy decisions, and so that he will not give up his authority and his power completely. But Díaz-Canel or somebody else, but most likely Díaz-Canel, will be the new president, and so he'll be able to chart a new direction, and this will be the first time ever that there hasn't been a Castro that's been head of the country.
So would he, in essence, be more powerful than the new president?
Well, I think he could, not by virtue of being head of the Communist Party, but he could decide to exercise power. I think he has that decision to make. How much does he really want to give up to Díaz-Canel, or how much does he want to retain? I think there's going to be a testing period for Díaz-Canel to see to what extent he really is effective. He's committed to the revolution, and policies will continue to go forward. So I think there's going to be a kind of a wait and see period that Raul Castro and Cubans in general will be seeing for Díaz-Canel.
How are the economics on the ground there, the situation with Venezuela, and of course the Trump administration affecting politics right now in Cuba?
Well, the economy is stagnant, and there's some economists that say that there could be negative growth next year. The Venezuelan crisis has affected Cuba to a large extent. There have been hurricanes in Cuba. The Trump administration clearly hasn't helped because things have cooled down, and it's clearly the kind of investment and trade that was seemed to be very promising during the Obama years has been halted. And so Cuba, if no investment comes in, it's hard to see how it's going to grow. So it's in a very, very troubled state right now.
This is such a polarizing moment, isn't it, right now in Cuba? What do you think the average Cuban wants from their new leader?
I think the Cubans want the reforms to continue that were initiated under Raul Castro. There was some hope and promise that they would succeed, but they've kind of been stalled. And it's been very, very slow, and I think the Cubans want to see things moving forward.
What is it going to take to reform this electoral process?
Well, I think there's the political side and there's the economic side. I think most Cubans are worried more about the economic side. They're just not living in very, very good conditions. And there could be laws that would change, that would open things up, the foreign investment law and other laws that would make it easier for those who want to invest in Cuba. And I think that's what Cubans want to see, open up internet, those kinds of things, as well as political reform. But political reform is going to be, I think, extremely gradual, and it's probably going to be over the longer term.
All righty. Well, Michael Shifter, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.